Alright everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to Duke Language School. My name is Bingo, the principal of Duke Language School, and also the author of Read Time in 10 Days. Sorry about not making many videos lately due to the COVID crisis and the restriction. It was difficult for us to create contents like this, but from now on, we'll try to make as much as we can. So please subscribe to our channel. Today we'll do something a little bit differently. We'll talk about 10 words that students usually mispronounce. I will guide you through them and try to train you to pronounce them the right way. Here goes. So the first word is chu. Chu. A lot of new students, when they pronounce this word, they tend to round their lips and they pronounce it like chu, chu. Well, that is not an oo vowel, okay? The vowel in Thai. I don't think there's a lot of languages that has this sound. So when you pronounce sara right, you have to stretch the corners of your mouth outwards, like chu, chu. But don't overdo it and go like chu. That's not the right way to do it either. Just do it in moderation, okay? Chu, chu. Here are some more examples. ลืม ตื่น มือถือ And by the same token, the short version of which is you also have to do the same thing. Don't round your lips, stretch the corners of your mouth. 1. ฝึก หรือเปล่า Second word is แล้ว แล้ว which is an awfully frequently used word, right? Still, a lot of students end up pronouncing this word like เลี้ยว or เลว which are not right. Well, when you try to pronounce the word แล้ว first of all, you have to open your mouth wide. So the L sound is actually a combination of two vowels, air and o. So the first part, air, sounds like the word air, you know, like air conditioner in standard British English. And then you stick o at the end, so it sounds like this: L, L, แล้ว แล้ว okay? Some of the examples of the words that have this sound is แมว แถว แก้ว. And the third word is เหนื่อย เหนื่อย. Believe me when I say that this word is the beginner's arch enemy. Rarely anybody pronounces this word right the first time around. So a lot of students tend to basically break this word, this syllable down into multi-syllables. They say something like เหนื่อย or เหนื่อย or you know, in the other myriad ways that students mispronounce this word. This word has a เอื่อย sound, which is technically a triphthong, which means that it has 3 units of vowel together, and e, เอื่อย right? So in order to pronounce this word correctly, you must blend these 3 units together into one sound, เอื่อย เอื่อย. Do not break them down into little parts like เอื่อย no, เอื่อย เอื่อย. And some examples of these words such as เฉื่อย เรื่อย เนื้อเปื่อย. And the fourth word is ไป ไป. This problem tends to happen with the students who are native speakers of English. So the ไป word has the bp sound or ปอปลา sound, right? And well, technically this p sound, this bp sound is the breathless version of po, p sound or พอพาน sound. Well, if you pronounce p without your breath coming out, you'll get the bp p, p. But that's not the common mistake. The common mistake is that the student who speaks English as a first language may pronounce bp sound b as b sound b. bpai. So in order to tackle this problem, I suggest that maybe you should try to do this. Put an S in front of the sound you're trying to pronounce. Like say we use the word pai for this, right? So let's put S in front of pai, say spy, spy, spy. That spy sound is exactly what we want. So when you pronounce this word, try to note the positions of everything in your mouth. Spy, spy, and keep repeating spy, spy, and slowly reduce the volume of that S. Spy, 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 spy. Some examples of the word with the BP sound is pen, pla, กระเป๋า and tong. Tong is our fifth word. This word has the exact same problem as the word before. The word tong has a DT sound or to tao sound, right? Which is actually the breathless version of the T sound or to tahan sound, t. But the common problem with the students who speak English as a first language is that they tend to mispronounce this DT and pronounce it D or dodek instead. Dong, dong, dong. I hear a lot of students saying pom dong bai, and that just sounds really weird in Thai. So in order to solve this problem, I propose the same solution as the word bai before, which is putting the S in front of the word that starts with the DT sound that you want to pronounce. In this case, tong, right? So put S in front of it. Stong, 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 and note the positions of your tongue, your mouth, and then keep repeating and slowly reduce the sound of S. Stong, stong, tong, tong. And then you'll end up with the accurate DT sound instead. Some of the examples that contain this sound are as follows. Ti, trong, ก๋วยเตี๋ยว. Here comes our sixth word, ngaan, ngaan. Oh, the dreaded NG sound. Well, this sound is probably the hardest sound for beginners to pronounce on average. The word ngaan, I hear this word being mispronounced differently by different people. Sometimes they say naan or yan or gaan or ngaan even, which are all incorrect. One of the ways you can do to try to rectify this problem is use the word in English like singing, singing, and then I want you to sort of hang on to the NG part, the first NG, yeah? Sing, like that, singing, singing, singing. And while you're doing so, note the position of everything inside your mouth, especially your tongue, the back of your throat, right? Singing. Remember where everything is. Singing, singing. And then slowly reduce the S and I part, the C part, yeah? Singing, 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 nging, nging, nging. Nging. And there you have it, nging, ngaan, ngaan. Okay? Some of the examples are ngai, ngo, nam ngan. Next, we'll do the 7th, 8th, and 9th words at the same time because essentially they got the same problem. So here are the words. Sip, sip, jet, jet, and ho, ho. The thing is, these three words, the final consonant sounds, which is p, t, k, or mekop, mekot, and mekop respectively. In Thai, they are unreleased. What does it mean to be unreleased? It means that the final consonant sounds, they are not quite clearly pronounced, they are barely audible in Thai. And what students do mostly when they learn, especially the numbers, which is one of the first things that you learn in Thai, they really over enunciate the final consonants P, T, and K. They would say something like sip, jet, and hok, which doesn't really work at all in Thai. So when you encounter Thai words that have one of these three final consonants, make sure that you don't really over-enunciate the final consonant sounds. Okay? Some of the examples are as follow. Gap, pop, yut, wat, rak, tok. Our 10th and final word that is often mispronounced in Thai is sùkǔmwít. Sùkǔmwít. Virtually, there's no expat in Thailand that doesn't know this neighborhood, right? Sùkǔmwít. Well, you might be wondering, so what's the problem with this word? How can we mispronounce this word? It sounds exactly just like the way that you normally say it. Here's the thing. Well, you know that Thai has 5 tones, right? And on top of the tones, however, we also have stress patterns. When you stress at the wrong syllable in a word, it might confuse the listener, and this might harm your ability to be understood in Thai. For example, the word sùkǔmwít, yeah? The stress is on the final syllable, sùkǔmwít, sùkǔmwít, yeah? But what I normally hear students say this word is sùkúmwít, sùkúmwít. The stress falls on the middle syllable, the second syllable. And if a Thai person hangs around or has a lot of interactions with foreigners, they might understand what you're saying. But generally, if you say sùkúmwít, people will be confused of where exactly you're talking about. So when you learn new words or new sentences, new phrases, just make sure that on top of the pronunciation of the words, make sure that you understand the stress pattern that comes with it as well. So, did you like it? I really hope that this video has been useful to you on improving your pronunciation. We'll try to release another video soon. We can't really promise when, but until next time, happy learning!